Hello, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Today's video is a little different. We're going to be talking about the United States of America. I mean, I live here, I do talk about it, but today we're going to be talking about politics, political, something a little political. Not the greatest president to ever grace this planet, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, taken from us far too soon. The president who, by the grace of God, saved us from utter destruction from the Soviets. He saved us from the CIA attacking us. We're going to get into that because the video will talk about that. And he gave us the Civil Rights Act. Yes, LBJ signed it, but it was being drafted, and it was originally all because of JFK. It was on Kennedy's desk. It was literally Kennedy's thing. LBJ stole it. Anyway, let's go through this conspiracy. That's what it is. I mean, I want to make it sound normal, but this is really a conspiracy because this is what we got. It's not an official thing, so it's a conspiracy, technically. But here we go. JFK was for sure killed by the government in some way or another. Very clearly. From the fact he was obviously shot from the front by the way he fell after the second bullet. Clearly, if you watch the video, the way he fell, you can't fall that way. If you're shot from the back, you just can't. He fell to the side. So essentially after, I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'll explain it. After John F. Kennedy got shot the second time when it blew up his brain, the bullet went in his head, he fell this way. Okay? As a reaction to being shot in the front. If you've seen the Charlie Kirk video, where he gets shot from the side, yes, Charlie Kirk was not shot from the roof. I'll repeat myself. Charlie Kirk was shot from the side. Okay, because there was muzzle flash recorded at the Charlie Kirk shooting at the side. There was video of muzzle flash going off in the sides, like in an alley, at the shooting of Charlie Kirk. But anyway, when Charlie Kirk fell, because I know y'all have seen this video, he fell this way, right, as a reaction getting shot from the side, and then he fell back. He fell back. Off the chair onto the floor. Just like how my phone fell, right off the stand. That's how Charlie Kirk fell, unironically. Rip Kirk, I love him, but that's what happened. Similar with Kennedy. Kennedy got shot, he slumped a little, and then he fell completely. That way. Because he was shot in the front. Literally, Kennedy was here, his brain got shot, and he just fell back. Now, if he was shot from the back, which is what the government proposes, he was fatally shot from the back, he would have fell this way. His head would have stumped this way, and then he would have fell the other way. Kennedy was not shot from the back. That's complete garbage that he was shot from the back. Fatally shot from the back. That is complete nonsense. Do not believe that. It's complete and utter nonsense. Same with Charlie Kirk getting shot from the roof. Charlie Kirk was definitely shot from the side because of the muzzle flash literally being recorded. Look it up. If I could find the link for it, I'll put it in the description later. If I forget, remind me. Anyway, if you don't know, in the 1960s, there was a government plot called, what the hell's the name of it? I forgot it. Oh yeah, there it is. Northwoods. Project Northwoods. No, Operation Northwoods, sorry. Okay, so Operation Northwoods was proposed by General Limonizer. Definitely said that wrong, but doesn't matter. He's a total piece of junk. Screw his name. Okay, he was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was the highest military officer at the time. Now, what was Project Northwoods? What do you think it is? Maybe, I don't know, we're gonna do something in the Northwoods? We're gonna build something? No. It was a plot to blow up buildings in Miami and blame it on the Cubans. It was a plot, I'll repeat myself, to blow up buildings in Miami. Okay, one of the plots was to blow up buildings in Miami and make it look like Cubans did it to invade Cuba. It sounds very similar to a certain thing that happened in 2001, just saying. Sounds very similar to a certain thing that I'm not going to say. in this video another time. But Northwoods was all approved, written. It was all, every single person of the Joint Chiefs of Staff had written approval for that plan, which would have killed tons of civilians, just so we can go to war with Cuba and make money off that war. Because that's what war has been for decades, just to make war and make money. So, what happened? Obviously that didn't happen, right? Miami was never bombed. The GOAT, John F. Kennedy, refused to sign it, refused to agree to it, and said it would break the public trust. He refused to do it. And he technically fired that general, because he refused to allow him to be reelected. Reappointed. And here are all the proposed plots of Operation Northwoods. One was to sink a U.S. Navy ship in Guantanamo Bay, and orchestrating casualty lists in the newspapers to create outrage. And the name for the event was going to be Remember the Maine. Something else that we was definitely orchestrated. Then there was another one that sounds very similar. We were going to stage the hijacking of a civilian airliner, or shoot down a remote control drone made to look like a civilian plane. It's not looking good for you, government. Now here's the next one, carrying out a communist Cuban terror campaign in Miami and Washington, D.C., including bombing civilian targets. We have such a lovely government, don't we, right? They love us and respect us totally. Another brilliant idea was to sink boats carrying Cuban refugees. Another fantastic 10 out of 10 idea by our government was to attack other nations in the Caribbean, including Jamaica and Trinidad. You know why? Guess who owned Jamaica and Trinidad at that time? The British. So if we attacked Jamaicans and Trinidadians and made it look like the Cubans, who would support us attacking Cuba? The British. And who would probably help us invade Cuba? The British. So JFK, being who he is, said, no, we're not doing this. None of these are good. This is going to destroy public trust. Why are we doing this? And he refused it. He rejected it. Now, let's think. If a military general, who definitely had some very loyal people to him, he was a war hero, right? People loved him. Gets fired, essentially. And he was doing all this crazy stuff. Is it not too far-fetched to say maybe, theoretically, he got some people JFK had some problems with, specifically the Israelis, because JFK at the time had some issues, because the JFK knew they were building nukes, and he was telling them, knock it off. He wrote them a whole letter, telling them essentially, knock it off, or I'm going to stop supporting you. I'm going to stop giving you whatever. I'm going to stop helping you all. And they said, no. They pretty much said, no, we're not going to stop. And they got pretty mad at him, I'm guessing. So, theoretically, it's my little theory of what could have happened. The general, possibly in Israel, roped together and killed JFK. I mean, think about it. Don't you think it's a little odd that just randomly a trained shooter kills him, but he was obviously shot in the front? Yeah, Oswald shot him in the back, but he shot him in the back and the neck, I should say. Don't take that out of context, please. I mean, this glass pit's a bit schizo, I'll admit. It's a little schizo to say that the general had Kennedy killed, and so did Israel, but it's definitely possible. Never leave a rock unturned when it comes to our government. It's definitely schizo, to think it's possible, but maybe you gotta be a little schizo when dealing with the US government. Because considering the fact they were okay with bombing their own people to justify the invasion of a foreign country, you have to be a little schizo to think if they're okay with bombing our own people to justify the attack of a foreign nation, why wouldn't they be okay with killing a president? I can't come up with a reason. I mean, if they're okay with killing regular people, what separates regular people from the president? In their eyes, probably nothing. Now, let's go back to something I mentioned earlier. How Northwoods is similar to 9/11. Let's think critically. What was the whole thing with Northwoods? Northwoods was to essentially, one of those plots was going to be used, the Miami one, whatever, and it was going to be the Miami one, the plane, whichever one, it was going to be blamed on the Cubans, and it was going to make like the Cubans Day to justify the invasion and takeover, total takeover of Cuba. Now, what was 9/11? An attack in which two airplanes struck the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and one went into a field, and these attacks were later used to justify the attacks of Iran and Iraq and the fake weapons of mass destructions were also used to justify the attack of Iran and Iraq, which, as we all know, there was no mass destruction weapons. They were all destroyed in the 90s by the UN, or by Iraq themselves. It was all nonsense. It was all a lie. We did 9/11. Our government did 9/11 in plain sight. You know, fun fact, right before 9/11, in April of 2001, was the first time the Northwood project, operation, whatever the hell you want to call it, was officially demilitarized. It was officially the hell's the word? Delisted, let's go with that. It was completely made public. That's when it really came to light, was in 2001, actually. But it actually, you know what? What I was going to say is it came to light in 1990. That's when everything was released. But people didn't know until early 2001. And then 9/11 happens. 9/11 is very similar to Northwoods. Very similar. Yes, there's, but World Trade Center, whatever happened in the 90s, you know, they attacked it then. Yeah, but don't put it past our government to have done that too. If something doesn't work, you don't think they're not going to do it another time? They tried to kill Castro over 400 times. You really think they want to try it again? You really think they want to try twice? Come on. It was obviously our government. Come on. Our government has done some great evil. Oh boy, this was originally going to be a JFK conspiracy thing, but it just came into me talking about Northwoods, which I think more people need to know about Northwoods. Because if people saw the correlations between Northwoods and 9/11 more, I think more people would not like the government. And I think more people would realize how pretty obvious it is the government definitely was involved in 9/11 to an extent. There's no way you could have a plot from the 60s saying, you know, let's take a drone, make it look like a passenger plane, and make it blow up to justify the invasion of Cuba. Essentially, that was one of the plots. Really? Isn't that coincidental? A plane crashes into a building, and we use that to justify the invasion of Iraq and the whole Middle East, which we made billions off of in oil. Billions, maybe even trillions. We made so much money from that war, from stealing oil, from just the total military industrial complex. We made so much money. War is a business now. It's not about good or evil, it's a business. And anything to perpetuate that is what is going to happen in the current climate of the United States. War is a business. Remember that for today.